So if you can grab some cookies, and then we have some food that Emma's going to talk about already at the tables. Just want to give you a little background. Some of you guys are in Sunday school now, correct? Like if you're in Sunday school, raise your hand. Maybe. Do you know Emma went to Sunday school here too? She went through all the classes and she even taught 1 year. And then she went on all the mission trips in high school. And the thing that was, can everyone start listening please? The thing that was really interesting about Emma was that she had so much compassion and so much passion. And the compassion came out in the way she cared for and treated other people. The passion came out in her desire that all people should have equity and justice. So how fitting that she's serving in the Peace Corps, which is also guided by our Advent words of love, hope, peace, and joy. And I'm sure that Emma has many stories of all of those emotions, so I'm going to turn it over to her. Thanks, Emma.
Thank you, Gretchen, for the warm welcome and for all of you. As Gretchen said, St. Matthew's was a huge part of raising me ever since I was born. I was baptized on the 24th of December, so that anniversary is coming up here pretty quick. Going on those mission trips really taught me a lot about service and meeting people where they are and giving all that you can in those spaces. So without delaying more, there is much wonderful food on your tables, I think, that's coming out or in the process of coming out. So I'm going to, I have to advance slides. So here are the delicious foods that we have for all of you. So the first one is called kelewele. That is
Mommy, are we supposed to make a nap?
this one. You guys can see.
What's that?
The kelewele is it's the ripe plantain that they fried. So if you had any Latin American food, they oftentimes do that as well. In West Africa, they will add some other spices and things. It is not spicy, though, per se. The next one that we have is fufu and soup. This soup is like a light soup, is what they would call it, with some chicken. And fufu, a lot of foods in Ghana are eaten with your hands. So you'll typically take like a small ball of fufu and then dip it in the soup. You can like make a little indent in the fufu and then like scoop it like a spoon. But we also have spoons and forks on the tables if you're not ready to be eating with your hands. Then jollof rice is very common throughout all of West Africa, and I think is originally from Senegal. They have a community called Jollof. But that is like a tomato and spiced rice dish that is usually eaten as is with a little salad and some meat on the side. I will also add, the soup is a little bit spicy in terms of like heat. So just fair warning, there's water around if you need some. Then the last item that we have on the table is sobolo. That is the drink. It is a ginger, hibiscus, and cloves and pineapple drink. Commonly served cold, usually at special events and things, and all of that. So please dig in. We have it family style for a reason. If we were in Ghana, we would all be eating out of the same bowl with our hands, but I think for the sake of adapting over here, we will keep to the forks and spoons. One of the other things that you'll see... Sure. Okay, we'll give you guys a couple more minutes to start dishing up the food and get settled, and then I can explain some of the crafts.
We have a handout, but we don't have a. We're usually the set of information.
Yes, So I just got a question about the fufu. The fufu itself doesn't have any spice in there. It's just like boiled yam, sometimes plantain or cassava, and then they pound it. So it doesn't have any spice in it, but then you dip it in the soup to get that flavor. So be adventurous, but I also understand we all have different palates and it takes some getting used to. And a quick shout out if any of you guys are really enjoying the food. We have it catered from Imi's African Restaurant, that's IMMY, on the east side of Milwaukee. So they're an African restaurant over there. They got a mix of West African and East African food. So if you're enjoying any of it, please go check them out. We're going to start at 11 o'clock, so you have 5 minutes to get your food, get your cookies, and find a seat. If we are running out of chairs, I'm sure we can find some more in this building. Thank you.
All right, we're going to start in Emma's been working on this PowerPoint. She has so more stories than could fit in a whole day. So if everybody could please find a seat. We have some extra chairs if needed. And then she's going to get underway.
Hey guys, what do you think? Thank you. You guys need to go check out much better than they were before. This is still the same country. Right. Yeah. So I'm really and then I'm guessing once, right, it's like a slow rolling, and then once you get going, and then will you stay on this project for a while, or do you kind of get this? Yeah, so
Some amazing barrel plants. Thank you. Seated so I could see you, and you were just working it. I feel like I need
Okay, everyone, we're going to get started now. So if I could have your attention, please. In Ghana, we say ago, and then everyone responds with ame. Yeah, so I say ago, ame, aha. You've done well, you've done well, okay. So let's keep moving. One of the other things that we have on the table that some of you are diving into is the coloring pages. It's kind of the outline for kente fabric. So kente is common throughout West Africa, but originates in Ghana. And it is on the UNESCO representative list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. And that just happened a couple of years ago. So we're very proud of that distinction. And there's lots of different colors woven together. You can see the cards on the table that explain a bit more. And we also have some authentic kente on the table over there if you're interested in seeing it. And then the name kente actually comes from the sound that the weaving machine makes as you're moving the pieces back and forth. So those coloring pages, please leave them behind. Gretchen wants to hang them all up together so it looks like a nice big tapestry. So if you don't mind collecting them, is there a spot that they can drop them, Gretchen? Okay, just leave them on the tables, we'll collect them. So a bit of background on the Peace Corps in Ghana. We're very proud to have the designation as the first post beginning in 1961. So next year is year 65, and we're going to do a big celebration. We have 3 sectors: agriculture, education, and health. I am a health volunteer, so we focus on water, sanitation, and hygiene, youth health education in the schools, and then child and maternal health as well. Currently, we have 36 PCVs in country. Our numbers are quite low since COVID. Prior to COVID, we had closer to like 150 in country. So we're really struggling with that. And if you guys have any questions about joining the Peace Corps, I'd love to talk to you. And then we have a new cohort coming in January, and we're hoping to get around 30 or so. Peace Corps volunteers are all throughout the country. In Eastern region, the little star there is where I am based, so really close to the capital of Accra. So we got Eastern, Greater Accra, Volta, OT, Bono East, and the Northern region. So it's nice to go around, visit the other volunteers, and see more of the country. Then there's 4 languages that we learn during our pre-service training. That's Tree, which is the most common language. Ewe, which is more on the eastern side of the country, and is also that group of people spreads into Togo and Benin as well. And then Dagbani, which is spoken in the north. And Ghana Sign Language is for our deaf education volunteers, but it's very similar to American Sign Language. So I've been able to enhance my sign language skills during my service, which has been amazing. Next slide, please. So a little bit more about the food. You'll see me enjoying lots of the food here. A lot of the Ghanaian food, it takes a long time to prepare, all day. My parents came out to visit and I don't think they were quite expecting that. So on the top left, you'll see I'm pounding palm nuts for palm nut soup, which you can also eat with fufu. The one that you guys have today is a light soup, which is just a simple like water base with various spices inside. The next picture was at a funeral. I'm also having fufu and light soup. Again, eating with my hands. And a very silly picture of me peeling some of the yams for making the fufu. You boil it and then you pound it. Then we have one of my friends are making kontomori stew. Kontomori is a leaf from the yam plant that you can eat. Then we have boiled plantain in the lower left with an eggplant stew. I'm vegetarian, so they've been really kind and catering for me. And then as snacks all over the street, you can find various fried baked goods, so to speak. So that one there is chobe. So it's just like a donut, honestly. And then one of my friends there, I was teaching her how to make an Indian dish because I really like to cook Indian food. So lots of amazing food, one of the best ways to get to know the country. One of the common things that people say when you're sitting down to eat is you say you're invited. So someone is always welcome to come and eat from your bowl, which is an idea that I really love from the country, regardless of where you are. If you're eating a sandwich on the bus, you invite the person next to you to eat too. And it's just a custom. People don't usually come in and eat. Okay. So just a quick video. Thank you. Just a quick video from Kofi. He is my main contact person in the community and has been a huge help in terms of getting those grant projects done. So just a quick Madase Pa, thank you very much from him, please.
Hello, my name is Enoch Daku, a CP for Equia Kumiwa, Ilman. Yeah. Here is Eastern Region, Ghana. All we are saying that we are much appreciated your give out, your funds and putting to support our community on our health projects, the water, and also the machine project. We are much appreciated. We say big thank you. Amen.
So he was just saying in Tree, thank you very, very much. God bless all of you for your donations and your contributions. So really, I hope that you guys can see how much that means for me and all 650 or so people in that community that I live with. Okay, so the structure for today's program. Here's an aerial view of my community. So we're going to be doing it like a little community tour, stopping at different points and things. So there's, two main roads that run through the community. My house is kind of at the top there. We'll work our way down, loop back to past the school where we'll learn a game for the students or the kids. If you guys are interested, you guys can step out at that time, and then we'll loop back and talk more about the grant projects at the end of the program. Next slide, please. So here's my house. I'm living in a little bit of what we like to call poshcore, in the sense that I have tiled floors. I find very few lizards and bugs in my house. I have a real kitchen, so to speak, with like a countertop and everything. But the community is very generous in having me stay there. I also took down my mosquito net for this picture so you guys can see it better. But we do sleep under mosquito nets. But the community's been very generous. That is part of the deal that they make with Peace Corps, that they must provide housing that meets the safety and security standards. And mine has been such a blessing for me to have. Then the next slide, we're working our way up on that map. This is Kofi's church. He is a pastor at our Redeemer Calvary Church. So just a quick tour. He's in the process of building it. In Ghana, once you have the money to start building, you just start building, even if it's just a wall. So he's been working little by little to get there. And that is Ama. That is one of Kofi's 5 kids. I have a different slide with all of his kids. But Ama joined me to walk over there and take that video. So now we're going to loop back just a little bit. We're going to talk more about making fufu in the soup. So when my parents came out to visit, we went to my friend Odebia's house. And we made fufu and the palm nut soup. So in this first video here, you'll see my mom and she's pounding the palm nuts. It's too late. We can do that for the fufu. I thought we were using machines. Well, we're figuring it out. Okay, Aiko. Yeah. Aiko. So, thank you. So in that video, like I said, my mom, she's mashing the palm nuts. There's like a coating on it, and you need to remove that from the inner nut. And then you put that in some water and everything to make a stew out of. The young girl sitting next to her is Odebia's sister, Adelaide. She's in middle school, and it's been a joy getting to know her and spending time with her. The phrase that I was using, aiko, it's like something that you say to someone who's doing work, and then they just respond, yai. So all of you guys working on your coloring pages, aiko. We've done well, why are you? Okay, then the next video, I think, is pounding the fufu? I'll have to see. Oh no, then now like we're washing it and rinsing it. Okay, so sometimes it can poke under your nail, so be careful when you are doing it to scoop. Very careful. Oh, it's bad. Because it was boiled. Oh, sorry. And then it would be like a splinter of the edges. Yeah, so that was just like helping remove the pulp and everything. You know, the palm oil, it can stain your hands, especially for us. So they always make fun of me for having palm nut on my hands or all over my mouth when I've been eating. And then the bottom picture is my dad, Mike. He's pounding the fufu. So they take the boiled yam and plantain, and then they pound it with a stick to make it into the fufu that you guys have in front of you.
I know. Break her hand and hit her in the head too.
Be careful. Be careful. What does he say when he does it? Be woke. Can't walk with food.
So mewo fufu means I pound fufu. So he's doing very well, but they'll be like, you know, going like super fast and like scooping it, and you know, it can take a long time, even like, you know, sometimes they'll spend like an hour pounding all of the fufu for the family. So then that picture there, can you go back to the yeah, so then there's my parents and I enjoying the palm nut soup and fufu. As you can see, they weren't as adventurous to eat with their hands, but they did well. Next slide, please. So this is more at Odebia's house. One of the things that I've gotten into with them is making friendship bracelets, just like we make at church camp or on the mission trips and things, just with the embroidery floss. And the kids really enjoy doing all of that. Yeah, so we get together after school once a week or so to do bracelets, coloring, all sorts of things. They don't really get many art classes at school, and that was one of my passions growing up, so it's fun to share that with them. So Mary, we're coming back to the center of the community. Mary is Kofi's wife, and she has a fried yam stand. kind of just like a potato wedge. And then you dip in like a hot pepper. Sometimes they grind some fish in there as well. And so this is just like a panorama of that space, but then also you'll see the center of the community. This was on a market day, so I think that there's some taxis lining up too to take people to the market for the day.
Hello, Aunt Mary. Hey, now
Yeah, so she was Auntie Akuya. Sorry, I should have led with that. My local name is Akuya Kumiwa. Akuya means Wednesday born, and then Kumiwa, the name was given to me by the community after the chief. His name is Kumi, so the feminine of that is Kumiwa. And she was asking saying, how are you? And I said, hey, I'm fine, Naonsui, and you. So yeah, that's just a little bit more seeing the community. Then I have all kinds of pictures of my lovely Ghana family. So let's see, in that middle picture, Kofi is the one wearing the white and gold wrap. So he's the father, then obviously Mary is holding little baby Emmanuel. So that's really apt with our service today. They named him Emmanuel after me. Because in Ghana, women named Emma, their name is Emanuela, the female version of Emmanuel. So they named him for me, and they call him Ima, which is like the nickname for Emmanuel. And so that was his coming out day. So a couple weeks after the baby is born, they have like a coming out in the community the first time that they leave the house. So even when I went over to visit in the first couple weeks, I had to go inside to see him. They wouldn't bring him outside. Then one of their daughters, the taller one there, we just call her Ma. And then you see Ama again in the striped dress, and then Junior is the young boy standing there. And then one of their daughters couldn't make it that day. She's the one with her arm reaching around here. That's Ma Jane, named after Kofi's mother, Janet. So she wasn't around. Kofi sent two of his daughters to live outside of the community to go to schools that tend to be a little bit better. But since day one, they have been very welcoming to me, taking really good care of me, feeding me. I have some more fufu up there that Mary prepared for me. And I really couldn't do this service without them. So I'm incredibly grateful for them. One of the other things that I did with them is I took my fridge box over there and I made it into a little house for Amma and Junior, and they played with it all afternoon. That was a really fun time. That's something that they do here, but it's not like you're always getting cardboard there from big things. So it was a fun little cross-cultural moment. Then here's a video that I took from inside the car of my market town, so you guys can have a better sense. So this is leaving the community, and it took about 30 minutes on a dirt road to get there. You guys can do a little clip. You're done? So as you can tell, it's very chaotic and very noisy with all of the bikes honking, all the cars passing through. Believe it or not, that's not even the most busy part of the market that we're driving through. It gets even more crowded as you go deeper inside the market. But I can buy a lot of vegetables and things. You can buy meat there, fish. They tend to dry it out there. And then rice, other household, amenities and things like soaps and what have you, is all available there. Beautiful fabrics too. We have some fabric over there on the table you guys can check out. The one that I'm wearing today. All of that can be found at the market as well. So I really do enjoy going there, seeing my go-to cabbage woman, seeing my go-to tomato woman, because that's the other thing. So you're buying not everything from one place. You're going from woman to woman to buy each item.
That's how much.
And then here's some pictures of other Ghanaian markets. So you can see like a fabric shop that was in Kumasi in the upper left. In the middle, that's a picture of me and some of my other fellow volunteers at the market in Kumasi. It's the largest market in West Africa. So you can just see how hectic it is out there. And then the upper right picture is also a part of that market. Then you can see on the bottom left, there's just a pile of shoes. So a lot of textile waste, secondhand clothes, secondhand shoes end up in Ghana. And I think that it's 40% of it that comes through is not usable. Like it's damaged and things. So all of that waste coming from the western part of the world is ending up there and, polluting their roads, polluting their waterways and everything. So please, I know that this is the season of giving, but please be mindful of what you're donating. Is it usable? If there's tons of tears in it, remove those things because they have to pay for like this whole bundle and maybe 40% of it inside isn't usable for them. They can't resell it. But you can do lots more research on Kantamanto. It's the main reselling market in Accra. So we can talk more about that if you guys are interested. And then in the north, the markets look a little bit different, and that's the picture in the lower right. Okay, so now we're making our way towards like the bottom of that main road. And this is one of my best friends in the community, Crystal. She's been a joy to have in my life, especially in this past year. Crystal is in a wheelchair, and unfortunately hers broke, but I was able to find some partners in Ghana to get a free wheelchair for her. And so I go over there as often as I can, honestly, to get her in the wheelchair, get her out, moving around the community, building up her strength as much as she can. She's no longer able to go to school just because it's too difficult to bring her, and it could worsen her medical condition. So this is Crystal. She's just practicing her wheelchair a little bit. Oh, I'm taking a video right now. What do you want to say? What do you want to say to them, Crystal? My friends, my family. She's shy sometimes, but once you get to know her, she will talk your ear off. She's one of the few kids in the community that's pretty fluent in English. She doesn't give herself as much credit as she deserves. One of the things you would have heard in the background of that is you heard what we call the gong beater, and they go around the community to make announcements if there's like meetings or something that are coming up, and especially if the lights are out, you can't make an announcement on the PA system, or the PA system doesn't reach everywhere in the community, then the gong beater will go around and tell people that there's an upcoming meeting. So here's some more pictures from Crystal's house. Like I said, she's really been a joy to have in my life. She's always smiling, always has something. Always brings a positive attitude to everything that she's doing. So she's been such a joy. And so we built those two wheelchairs. The other one is for Officer, Kofi's stepfather. So we're actually headed to his house next on our tour. Oh, wait. We'll come back. Oh wait, no, we'll go back there later because he was one of the beneficiaries for the latrine project, so we'll talk about that. After the kids maybe are getting a little antsy, they need to move around. So in the schools, as I mentioned, as a health volunteer, part of my job is to do health education with the youth. So it's been great getting to know them, and getting more involved with them. Let me show some pictures from the school on the next slide, and then we'll come back and learn the game. So here's some school projects in the upper left, or all across those first two pictures on the left, is us making reusable menstrual pads. Menstrual pads are just very expensive to purchase every single month, so and not always healthy for the body. So we teach them how to make the reusable ones, much more cost effective, Odavia's mother, Deborah, came. She's right in the middle there. She brought her sewing machine to help me out one day with the elementary school students because their sewing skills were not as developed as the middle schoolers. And then in the middle, on the bottom, you can see we're playing a wash game. So we have like these cards, and it shows like different behaviors as far as hand washing, going to the bathroom, all sorts of things. And so you show the cards, is it a good behavior on the card or a bad behavior on the card, and then why, to help teach the kids how they can be thinking about their health and everything that they're doing. And they're honestly one of the best ways to get information into the houses, because they'll go home, as I'm sure all of you know, go home, tell their parents about their day, point out when their parents are maybe doing something that could be hurting their health, not washing their hands well before they eat, things like that. So that's always a fun way to get involved. And then on the lower right is our PA, our physician's assistant, giving one of the, I think it's a polio booster that she's giving there. It's vitamin A. They do vitamin A boosters for children under the age of 5. There's lots of programming that we do for children under the age of 5. So if you have follow-up questions, we can get into that. But so we'll go around to the schools sometimes to give them their vaccines, vitamin A boosters and other things. So that's always a fun time to kind of collaborate with the school and the clinic together. But if we can go back one slide, and we're going to learn how to play ampe. So ampe is a jumping game. So I'm not use the jumping note as you will, based on your age and your mobility. But I'm really hoping that the kids, can get some energy out here. So we can watch the video, then I can explain a little bit better here how to do it. We can just start by one-on-one, but in this video they're standing in 2 lines, and they're kind of like playing like against each other, like they have these teams. So we'll start with this one.
Okay, Adeline, so now we are going to play the one with 2 lines. How do we call that one?
The name of the ampe is shooters. If you win one line, one person get out.
So you can see here we have one side here, and we have the second side here. Everybody, they have their partner. So which side is Oshiwa? This side will be Oshiwa, and then this side will be Nkono. So the first 2 will start by playing ampe. Whoever wins will move on to play with the next person. So you're trying to make your way down the line and keep on winning. Okay, so please demonstrate for us. Okay, and then, so who has won? Okay, so then she gets out. And then you play it again. So now you see this side they only have 3 people, and this side they have 4. Because this one, she won the last one at the end. They were able to go through all their people in the line before these people could go. Okay, so let's do it again then. Okay, so then she is out because she lose the last one. Okay, so then we'll play it again.
Okay, so I think you guys get the gist here a little bit.
They get the
So it's like a rhythmic jumping and clapping that you do, and then at the end, you're putting one of your 2 legs out. If the person that you're facing has the same leg as you out, then, okay, before you start, you determine one person is Oshiwa and one person is Nkono. Okay? Oshiwa, it means different. So if they have the different legs out, then and the person on the left is different, then they would win. If your legs are out on the same side, then it's Nkono, and then that person would win. So kind of like a rock, paper, scissors, like marathon sort of a thing, like they're working their way down. Whoever wins gets to move to the next person. Then between them, whoever wins moves to the next person, and then you slowly cycle people out. So they'll play it like with huge lines of students sometimes. But if I could have someone that wants to come help demonstrate with me, a volunteer. Okay, you want to come help me? Okay, what's your name? Mackenzie. Okay, let's clap for Mackenzie. So in the schools, when we're clapping for someone, we'll do it like so. And sometimes at the end, we'll like send the love to her and be like, and then she like accepts it. And then she like accepts it, so it's like really sweet. So Mackenzie, the jump that we're going to be doing, I'll demonstrate it first. So you're going to clap, jump, clap, put your leg out. Okay, so. Okay? And then you pick one of your legs to put out. So clap, jump, clap, put your leg. And then you're going to put one of your legs out. Okay? So do you want to be same or different? You're going to be same? Okay, so then I'm different. So put one of your legs out for me, please. So this is different. She has this leg out, I have this leg out. But then if I put this leg, then it's same. So then it's Oshiwa, and then Nkono. Okay? So now we're going to put it all together, and we'll see who wins. So I'm sorry, so you're same, and I'm different, right? Okay. You ready? Put the leg out. So we're different, so then I win. So then I would move on to the next person, or you can just keep playing back and forth. Thank you, Mackenzie. I appreciate it. So it takes a while to get used to the rhythm of that. If I'm honest, sometimes mine's still off a little bit. I can never do it as fast as they do. But this video, I've shared the PowerPoint with Gretchen and things. So if the students are interested in going into the other room and playing the game together, no. Okay, you guys are going to do it later. Okay, well now you guys have your demonstration, so you guys will be able to pick it up later. Okay, next slide please. Okay, so from the school we're heading up a little bit towards the Community Health Center. So this project has been my pride and joy. Took a lot of energy. I started mobilizing the community to get ready for the project last year in October, November, and then we finished it over the summer in July. So it's really been a work of a labor of love. So what I mean when I say that mobilizing the community, so Peace Corps requires that all communities contribute 25% of the cost. So if the project is $1,000 USD, they need to contribute the equivalent of $250. And that can be in cash, labor, materials. So for this project, some communities brought some sand, some blocks, cash. There was communal laborers that came to help out, help the masons, the carpenters, etc. do their work every day. We had a rotating schedule of different communities coming in. So the basis, the objective for this project was to upgrade this facility from a lower level to a higher one. So the higher one, now it can be open 24/7. They're going to increase the staff so that there's 15 people, and then you run 3 shifts a day. They're just waiting on their national health insurance accreditation before they can start hiring those other staff. That takes some time, as I'm sure you can imagine. They're going to add a lab technician, so people don't need to go all the way to the market town, 30 minutes away, and then you also spend a lot of time waiting for taxis. The cars don't move until they're full, so you can be waiting like an hour for the taxi to fill up. So that saves them a lot of time, money, and energy to just get that lab testing done here, especially for the pregnant women who have routine testing done. So there's an increase in staff, and then that will also just alleviate pressure on the hospital at the market town, because there should be fewer people going out there as well. This sub-district clinic now is going to be serving over 13,000 people. So thank you all so much for making a difference in all of their lives. It's going to be much easier for a lot of them to get to, and I'm really grateful that we got to do this project. So we added a lab, we made the ward bigger, so now there's like a designated male and female side as well. There's a dispensary, and then we also took the previous ward and we converted it into a designated child and maternal health ward. So there's antenatal care, prenatal care, and then also child weighing clinic, which is they do monthly weighing, height checks, vaccines and things for the children under the age of 5. So if you have more questions about it, please ask, because that's a monthly thing that I do in the community. And then the labor ward, we also tiled that one, so it's much easier to keep clean, which is really important, as I'm sure I don't need to explain much to all of you. And then the next step is to be mechanizing the borehole, the well that's there, to add running water. So we're hopefully going to be doing that come January. So if we're going to have to exit and do full screen, please. And so this video is before and after. Like I said, it was truly a labor of love and would not have been possible without all of you guys and your contributions. So thank you so much for your support on that one. So here's a little bit more of some of the activities that I do with the Community Health Center. So really early on in the upper left, I got to go see a birth, and that was honestly one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I'm sure not everyone would say the same thing, but that was just an incredible experience to be a part of. And I got to help dress the baby after he was born. And he was born on Saturday, so he was a Kwame. In Ghana, they have day names for different days of the week. So Monday has a male and a female, and then etc. And that's also common in a few other West African countries. So little baby Kwame was such a sweetheart. Then on the top middle, we have some of our health staff. We have a few nurses, the physician's assistant, and then 2 midwives. We're very lucky to have those midwives there to help with the birth. Then upper right, we have some of the process of building that accessibility ramp to the ward. So if there's ever an emergency, we can take people out on the bed, but then also bringing patients in with a wheelchair if they can't quite walk over to the ward since it's a oddly structured building, but we have to do what we can. And then lower left, you can see me, I'm holding a baby and I'm weighing the baby. We have like a hanging scale, just like what you would have like at the supermarket here, I guess. And you hang the baby like in a little bag, essentially, on the scale. And then they have these books and they track, how the weight fluctuates. And then you can like plot the points too on the graph to see how they are developing, and if there's any issues with malnutrition, you can catch that early. That's a big issue for a lot of young children in Ghana. On the bottom in the middle, that is our commissioning ceremony at the clinic. It was such a great day to bring everyone in so they could see what was going on. Peace Corps came, a lot of the local politicians came, local leaders, which was really great. Next picture is me and some of the nurses. One of them is carrying a vaccine carrier so that we could walk to a nearby community to do child weighing over there. Not all of them will come to our clinic, sometimes we're going to them. And we gotta carry that heavy vaccine carrier over there. And then the other picture, there is, I'm doing registration for an event that we had to help promote the clinic. So people don't always want to go to the clinic because, they think, oh, like I know, I'll just take this medication, or it must be malaria, it's always malaria. So I'll just take, the medication for that. So to help promote the usage of the clinic, we had 2 days, one back in June before we did the clinic project, and then one more recently in October, where there was a free health screening. If they had health insurance, they didn't pay anything for doing a series of standardized tests, getting vitals, having some face-to-face time with the PA to talk through any outstanding health issues that they might have. And so that was a really great event, really well attended, and I can tell that it's helped increase attendance at the clinic overall. And then if they didn't have health insurance, they could pay 10 cedis. I have some examples of the currency over there if you're interested. 10 cedis is about $1 to do that testing. So that was one of the events that we had to help promote the project. And then one of the other events that we had was a National Health Insurance Registration Day. So either they could renew their insurance or register if they didn't have it yet. And we were able to get the Member of Parliament for the area to pay for it. So we had, I think, around 1,000 people registered with their health insurance, which is going to go a long ways for the next year, and hopefully motivates them, inspires them that they should renew it next year and continue accessing those health services, since it's a lot of the basic necessities are free, at least for that first year. So the other project, we're headed back to the other end of the community, doing a lot of back and forth today, getting your steps in. And at Officer's house. Officer is Kofi's stepfather, and they are one of the ones that benefited from the latrine project. So this one isn't quite finished yet, but I think that it's good because then you can see what exactly is still going on. The type of latrine that we're building is a biodigester, so it uses science to break down the waste, and it takes less space. It's more cost effective. You're not digging as deep, which is, really nice because they're digging these pits with their tools, their pickaxe and shovel, which can also be good if any of the latrines are close to a water source, so that that's not infecting the water. So please play the video. Oh, then that's Officer, he was walking over at the end. So that first, there's 3 different structures, right? So the first one is the privacy room, where the toilet is, and then there's a pipe that leads to the second chamber, which is the biodigester chamber. We add a series of increasingly smaller nets made of both metal and mesh, like plastic. We wrap those together, put that at the bottom with some sewn shippings. And then we add either coconut fiber or just like another kind of fiber mesh inside. And then you add charcoal to help with the smell. and then there's like a powder that you add into the toilet bowl part once it's all ready. And so it will collect the solids in that first one, and then all of the remaining liquids will go to the back pit, which is filled either with small stone chippings or with larger stones that are kind of staggered, and it will help soak the water into the ground more easily. And then they sprinkle some charcoal dust on there as well to help with any smell, but then that gets covered. Both of these get covered at the end. So there's really no issues with smell. As long as it's well maintained, it should be fine for about 5 years before there needs to be maintenance. But these can last a really, really long time. So that's one of the reasons that we did them in the community. So we are still working on this project. We have built 15 so far, and because of the conversion rate, the U.S.A.I.D to Ghana cedi was in our favor. We're going to be able to build a total of, I think, 25 or 26, when the original goal was 20. So thank you all so much again for your donations towards that project as well. Unfortunately, there's too many houses that don't have their own latrine, and as you can imagine, that contributes significantly to the to health problems within the community. So thank you all so much for your contributions. Here's some pictures of that. So the top left is an example of a completed one. That's the privacy room, and then right next to that is one of my masons just working a couple weeks ago on building that privacy room. That's Kofi Jemfi. And then in the middle, we held an in-service training last November. So all of my colleagues came over to my community for a week, and we learned how to build 5 different types of latrines. So there we are working on the biodigester one. We partnered with an organization called Global Communities to help train masons and the PCBs on how to do that work. A couple more pictures showing people working on that. You see me with a ruler. I was being really helpful because I know how to do mason things now. So yeah, that's the project. It was a great time. Yes, please.
Do they use toilet paper, and how do you dispose of that?
Yeah, so for the biodigester, we take the tea roll and you put it in a wastebasket that needs to be covered so that flies aren't accessing it, and then every single day they'll take that and burn it. For the other types of latrines, they're allowed to put in toilet paper, ones that are just like a pit. They can put toilet paper inside, but no plastics or rubber or anything. For those ones, you can even cover it once it's full, wait 2 years, and then all of the harmful bacteria has worked its way out, and you can take that and actually use it as fertilizer. So, you can't be putting in any artificial items inside. So as long as the toilet paper will decompose. Yeah, thank you. Then, as I mentioned upstairs in church, because all of you donated so much money, which I am so incredibly grateful for. My family helped send out those thank you postcards, and I wish I could have signed all of them and talked to all of you individually and say how much that really means to me. I'm here instead. But so here's what we're going to do. We want to expand water access in the community. So here again is a map. I have the yellow stars that shows all of our little stops on our tour today. And then the dark blue is our existing boreholes. So at the far end, we have an Islamic school only borehole. Some of the schools have their own, but it's only meant to be used by that school. And then further over, the one that's lowest, that is at Kofi's house and actually runs to my house. And I have a very small water tank. So I'm running water, which is such a blessing that I don't have to go fetch water, and quite a privilege to have as well. But there's a small one there, and then there's the second one. It's okay, it doesn't always work. And then there's one at the clinic right now, but it actually isn't working. Like you pump and like the water comes really slowly, and that's a manual pump. It comes really slowly, or it's just really hard to pump it. So people, even like for the clinic project, when they had to bring over water to like mix for the cement or anything, they would walk to one of the lower boreholes and walk further to carry it rather than using that pump because it's so difficult. So as part of mechanizing that and adding running water to the clinic, we'll fix it so that it's easier to pump. So the proposed idea here is that these lighter blue dots is where we're going to add connections to the borehole at Kofi's house. So that one is mechanized using solar. So when I run out of water, I either walk down the hill or call Kofi and say, hey, I'm out of water. He turns on the solar panel, and within a few minutes, water is coming again, and then I just go turn it off once the water is overflowing. So we would add some of those water tanks to those 3 other areas. It's up a slight hill too, so it's gonna make things a lot easier for those people, give them more time to do other things, it takes less energy. So they're really, really excited about it. They're already working on collecting their 25% contribution for this project, so I'm really, really grateful that all of you were able to bring forward so much more than we were expecting. That's going to make a huge difference in their daily lives, so thank you so, so much. Yes, please.
Is Peace Corps still being funded by our government?
That's a great question. So Peace Corps, some of our funding came from U.S.A.I.D. Yes.
Can you repeat the question?
Oh, sorry. Okay, so the question was, is Peace Corps still being funded by the U.S. government? Part of Peace Corps' funding comes from U.S.A.I.D. So that money is unfortunately no longer there. A lot of that went towards trainings. So the current cohort that came last January, they aren't getting any of those in-service trainings, like where I learned with some of my Masons how to build latrines, where I went and did a nutrition workshop and learned about how to make Ghanaian meals more nutritious. And then, yeah, that's not there anymore, which is really unfortunate to get that technical training. Then also there used to be grants that you could apply for through U.S.A.I.D. Now the only option is to do crowdsource funding. So that's why it's so wonderful that I have this beautiful community here that is taking really good care of me and my community in that capacity when our government unfortunately is not picking up that torch. So as far as like my stipend though that I get, paying the staff and everything, that is all still functional. That is provided by Congress. And Peace Corps has one of the smallest budgets of like any agency. It's only like $400 million a year. So it's quite small, but we're managing, but things are definitely more difficult now. One of the things that we did to account for the lack of funds and the lack of training is the Peace Corps volunteers all came together and we threw our own training day. But we had to fund that ourselves, pay for our own transportation to Accra, pay for our own food and housing while we were there. Usually Peace Corps U.S.A.I.D. was paying for all of that to do a 2-day training where we, the older volunteers, trained the newer cohort on various things that we used to learn at those in-service trainings. So unfortunately a lot of that is on us now, but little plug, I'm going to be staying in Ghana for a 3rd year. And so part of what I'll do is help them with developing some of that training and how they're going to adjust things now to take better care of those volunteers and get them that technical training. So thank you for the question. Yes?
Is that money we contributed to the 25% the community needed to contribute or the 75%?
Sure. So he was asking the money that I got from all of you, did that go into the 25% or the 75%? So that went into the 75%. The 25% is solely given by the community. Thank you for that question. I think that this is our last slide actually, so I'll make sure. Oh, there's just a couple lessons I'll say and then we can get into more Q&A. So doing the Peace Corps, there are some very high highs and very low lows. Sometimes those happen in the exact same day or even the exact same hour. So you really need to learn how to pick yourself up and continue moving. I don't always have network to call people in my outside, call my family here, call other Peace Corps volunteers to lean on them for support. So I have to lean on some of those relationships that I have in the community. So there's a lot of self-growth in this role, but I couldn't be happier. I wouldn't change where I am at all, even given all of those difficulties. So that kind of leads me to this next one. There's a lot of growth, so much growth, and it's not a straightforward process. It's not linear. And so I'm just really grateful that I have so many resources with the Peace Corps to support me. They take care of all of my medical, all of mental health services, even even technical support was really, really amazing that I can lean on all of that. And Peace Corps Ghana might be biased, but I think that they have some of the best staff to support all of us. And so kind of think of it like a plant. So like, you know, like I'm growing as I'm moving. You know, I gotta filter out all of that toxic energy and everything and really lean on the environment and take what I need to thrive. But sometimes you need to cut yourself back to grow back even stronger, set those boundaries and cut out what's not helpful for you anymore. And then the biggest thing though is I have realized how blessed I am to have such a great community here with St. Matthew's and Wauwatosa more broadly, to have all of those people rooting for me. Unfortunately, that's not a given for a lot of volunteers, so I'm really, really thankful to have all of you to look out for me, to read my newsletters, send me questions, say you're thinking of me, donate to grant projects, come to today's event. So thank you all so much for that. I wouldn't be able to do this or extend for a third year without all of you, so thank you. Yes, please.
I thought there may well be visitors here, and you have mentioned many times what you had hoped we would donate and what we actually did, and I know that it was in our bulletins, but maybe you could just say it again to make everyone feel great.
Sure. So our goal was around 12,000 USD, and we raised, I think, between 18 and 20 instead. So thank you all so much for that. It was a huge honor. Sorry, I didn't repeat that question. But she was just asking about like the numbers of how much we raised. Yeah, I'm happy to take any other question. No question is too small. Yes, please.
You mentioned newsletter. Do you have a website or something?
Yeah, so she's asking about my newsletter. I can give you my email. Just send me an email and I'll add you to it. And I can send you my previous newsletters as well if you're interested in reading them. But I just do it on Africa time. So I send it when I have internet. I work on it when I have time. So it's not consistent, but there are some. But yes, just I'll get my email out to you guys. Any other questions, please? Yes.
How has this changed your future career aspirations?
Thank you. So she's asking about how has this changed my future career aspirations. So post-college, I just knew that I wanted to get abroad again. I was fortunate to do a semester in Rwanda, and that really was helpful in encouraging me to go back to the continent in some sort of way. So I just applied to the Peace Corps, said put me anywhere in Africa. And they placed me in Ghana. And so right now I'm really only thinking in the short term. The international aid sector is looking really rough right now. But what I can say is it's going to be invaluable to be on the ground at this time. To be there when they're restructuring funding sources, to be there when there are significant staff cuts. Because of that, the organization I'm going to be working with is called Global Communities. They're an international organization that's focused primarily on health. And my main project with them will be called Empowering Livelihoods. So that is to help teach various trades to primarily women and youth, so that they can get jobs in those trades. So things like sewing, beauty, hair, masonry, carpentry, heavy machine operation, those sorts of things. So right now I'm just kind of taking it one step at a time, but focusing all my energy in that third year, networking in that space is going to be huge for me. But I am so blessed that I can stay over there longer, see if this is what's right for me. But I do want to go back to school at some point soon. I'm only 25, so I got a long time to figure things out. Thank you. Any other questions? Oh, here's my newsletter email. So send me an email, and I will add you to the list, and I will also send my previous ones as well. Yes, please.
What type of electricity does the village have?
Okay, he's asking about the type of electricity that we have in the village. So all houses have electricity. You just gotta, connect it to the electrical poles and things. So, it's a standard UK plug that we have. And then it does just go out often, which is unfortunate. Sometimes the operating centers, I'm not too well versed in electricity, but like the operating centers will get overheated. It's very hot there. So in like the middle of the day during the hot season, it'll just shut off for a few hours until it can cool off enough. During rain, storms and everything, they'll go down. But it's Like I have a meter in my house, I'm supposed to pay a bill, they're still working on how to pay that. It's been a whole roller coaster in of itself. If that was my only challenge during Peace Corps, I'd still grow just as much, I feel like. But yeah, I mean, most houses have electricity access. The only thing is just managing it when it goes out. Sometimes my phone isn't charged for a couple days, and it is what it is. I think the longest I went was 3.5 days without electricity, so that's not the longest by far, though. Any other questions? Yes?
So how do they cope without refrigeration?
How do I cope without refrigeration? So market days are Mondays and Thursdays. My fridge actually broke at one point, so I didn't have a fridge for 2 months. I brought it back to the place I bought it, which was like a Ghana Target or Walmart, so they had a warranty on it. But it took 2 months for me to get it back. And I had to take it on public transit, like carrying this like mini, like dorm-sized fridge around to bring it back to the store like an hour away from my community. And so in that case, I just went to the market twice a week. And you just learn to, all these little hacks to keep the food as fresh as possible. Like putting green onions in water, asking for the harder the tomatoes instead of softer ones. Carrots, like you can wrap them up in plastic and like if you don't put them in the sun, it should be okay for a few days. But eating a carrot that's a little soft isn't gonna kill you. So, but yeah, I would just go twice a week instead. Yeah. Any other questions, please? Yes.
The health facility, was that government funded or faith-based?
Yeah. Sure. So the question is the health facility government funded? So Ghana Health Services is a part of the government, and so they manage like all of the hiring process and posting people and everything. And then unfortunately, the money to put up new facilities is on the community. So for there to be a health center put up somewhere, the community needs to pay for one to go in. And then once it's been built and everything, then Ghana Health Services will come in and pay for, posting staff there as staff is available. Just like in many other governments, there's a lot of bureaucracy, so it can take a really long time for health staff to get hired. I talked to quite a few women, there's a lot of women in the nursing field in Ghana, quite a few of them, and they were saying that after finishing schooling, they sat at home for 2 years before they got hired, even though there's a huge shortage of needing more staff. Yeah, so it's bureaucracies everywhere, unfortunately. Any other questions, please? Yes?
Is the facility in your community, now that it's even nicer, is that one of the better ones in the past?
It's definitely one of the better ones in the area. Yes, I can't speak for all of Ghana, but as far as like even as far as like the sub-district, not the sub-district, the district, as far as the district within the region goes, it's definitely one of the nicer facilities, and it's been really great. I've had the support of the Ghana Health Services staff throughout that process. The district health director has been a huge support in all of that, and that without him, I wouldn't have been able to do the project. And pushing things forward, consulting on, just how to be a contractor. I don't have a contracting background. A lot of volunteers show up and they learn very quickly on the ground how to do this sort of work. But it's definitely up there as far as the quality. So, thank you. Any other questions? Any questions at all? How was the food? It was good? Interesting? Yeah? Okay. I hope you guys go check out Emmy's. It's really, I haven't gotten to go there yet, but I had some of this food and it's delicious. So. Okay. Then I think with that, we will wrap up. Thank you all once again. Like I said, we have some items that we brought back with some notes on them. There's all of the coloring. Please keep your coloring pages here because we're going to tape them all together and hang them up. There's still plenty of food to go around, so below and things. Yes, you can just leave it on the table. Thank you. Thank you all so much for your support. I really, really appreciate it.